you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Welcome to Deep Dive, where we dive deep into geocaching topics.
Yeah.
Each episode features in-depth discussions and aims to provide a deeper understanding and appreciation of geocaching and to inspire listeners to explore new aspects of our great sport. What do you think? You like that one, Jesse?
Very intelligent.
Well, speaking of intelligent, I didn't write that. Or did I? Or did I write that?
Tell them where you got it.
Oh, do I have to? Okay. That was written by our buddies, Mr. Chat GBT. He's so knowledgeable. He loves geocaching. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I wonder if anybody has yet
geocaching.
done a geocache where you have to solve it using the Chat GPT thing.
That'd be kind of cool. Well, that'd be interesting. I think.
I don't know if you can or not. Chat GC. I like that better.
Chat GC. I like that. We use the chat bot that does geocaching. Welcome everyone. Jesse and I are wearing our new Deep Dive shirts. Sort of.
See how long it takes you to pick out what's crazy.
Yeah. What is not right about the shirt, other than the fact that you can't buy them from us. We bought them somewhere else, but anyway, it worked for our needs. So anyway,
I think we have to make sure we don't get sued. Explain these shirts. Now that you've showed them and called them our shirts.
Well, I didn't say it was we bought them. They're our shirts. We own them.
B&J Bish. It is an astronaut.
Yeah, it's kind of an astronaut. Yeah,
it is an astronaut, not a diver, but it came from another show that Gary likes. So
that's right.
We're not passing them off as ours. So don't sue us, YouTube overlords. Please don't sue us.
Can't sell them. Yeah, we bought them from somewhere else.
They're just shirts that we both happen to be wearing.
Yeah,
this is our inside joke.
Worked for us. They fit for the show, so we bought them. So there you go. All right. So a couple items. Number one is tonight. If you'd like to be part of our giveaway tonight, we'll do #Fizzy. Why not? Right? It fits appropriately.
Should have done fuzzy just to mess people up.
Just to mess people up. No, we'll keep it simple.
Was it Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear?
#Fizzy. He had no hair. So he wasn't fuzzy, was he?
He wasn't very fizzy, was he?
Wasn't very fizzy.
Fizzy Wizzy.
So #Fizzy. Y'all know the drill. I've got green coins. I got this weird new coin if you're interested. It's green, pink, and black. And sort of a funkadelic kind of Andy Warhol coin.
Yeah.
So if you want the Andy Warhol coin, there it is.
What in the world did you do that thing?
I funkadelicked it. It's funkadelic. So there you go.
You would remember that time period better than me.
I wasn't lying for all that. The green coins I think turned out great, even though they're not really the green coin. There's only two of them. It's the faux green coin.
We need to make a new green coin, not the old one, but one that's different.
It's different. Yeah, we could do that. We could do
I
like
just
a
need
light
another
green or
coin. But
something.
then if we do another coin, Chad's gonna have to build us a new holder because I've got mine perfectly fit on the wall.
I thought about a whiteout coin versus the blackout coin, but
what about a copper one?
Copper would be kind of cool. We have the glitter. The way we did the crazy glitter one for the challenge that we did. First to do that, by the way,
in the dark one.
We could do. I could check with.
Yeah,
I could check on that. We'll think about that. We are in the process of getting some path tags for the show.
Because we got to have stuff for everything, right?
We do.
We love all the collectible stuff.
Yeah, we do.
That's a danger of this hobby.
Yeah, which is great. Andrea's with us. She won last week. I think was last week, wasn't it, Andrea? Yeah. I sent her her prize off earlier in the week, so that's cool. All right. So I think I have covered tonight's prize. Coins are in the Cache Fest.
Keys are out there.
Oh yeah, and I've got a clue we're gonna do in a little later into the show. I've got a clue for what's that?
Exciting.
Exciting. It is. I'll do the it's another clue for the key, the next key. What are we on? Key 9? Whatever key we're currently doing.
Yeah. A clue for the vault. A clue for the key for the vault.
Yeah. Because this particular key has multiple clues that you put all together in one to make the final. So, all righty. Key 9. Thank you, Judy. Judy's on top of it. She knows.
And several have been found, but some have not been found. So that makes it interesting.
No. Yeah, it does. And there'll be more keys, come 45 total.
Yeah.
And we're on key 9. So there you go. All right. No, we're not giving away pizza, but I appreciate that, Pizza Ninja. In case you miss it, on the clue tonight, don't panic. You can go to the website, go to the Facebook group, and it will be out there as well as tonight. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. Oh, cool. Thanks, Nicole.
You know what? If it goes over well, I don't see why we wouldn't do it at the next Cache Fest, Yeah,
absolutely.
And obviously, the prizes have to keep building up.
Yeah, Cache Fest Alaska. We could do some cool stuff up there. Oh,
heck yeah!
Was I supposed to say that?
How about Cache Fest Bahamas?
Oh,
I'm just saying. If you're dreaming.
Oh no! Gary just spilled the beans.
I did not spill the beans. That was
Has the Bahamas have they ever had a mega in the Bahamas?
A mega? No, I'm sure they haven't.
There's no way.
No way.
Who wouldn't mind? Who wouldn't love to be at the first mega in the Bahamas?
Yeah. Chronically Tire Mom, checked her Fizzy. She still has holes. To be honest, and we're gonna get into it now, but I still have holes in my Fizzy. I've never completed it.
Start off in case anybody landed on this show and is newer. What is the Fizzy? They're going to get confused if we don't at least cover that before we talk about deep diving.
Let me tell you what it is. Whether or not the Fizzy Grid is worth doing depends on your personal preferences and goals as a geocacher. The Fizzy Grid is a challenge in which geocachers try to find a cache that corresponds to each combination of cache types and difficulty terrain ratings on a 5x5 grid.
Ooh.
So, for example, you need to find a traditional cache with a difficulty rating of 1 and a terrain rating of 1, etc. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, which actually ends up being 81. Yes.
ChatGPT did okay on that one, except for they called it a 5x5 grid.
Yeah, they messed it up a little bit.
Short of that actually did pretty good. So
Not
obviously that was ChatGC again. That's what
ChatGC.
ChatGC. they got pretty close though, considering it's just a robot, right?
It did pretty good.
It's pretty close.
It messed up who you are. It thought
we looked that one up yet, but it says it doesn't do good on people.
No, it thought you were a part-time reviewer that's found over 50,000 caches.
Yeah, no thanks. But just for clarification, for people joining in, the Fizzy is not that. It is you're filling in your GT grid. So difficulty and terrain from 1-1 up to 5-5. Obviously, with the half points, it ends up being 81 of them. There's 9 of each way
through 5.
A basic Fizzy is 1, 1.5, 2, all the way through. 81 squares, right? 9 by 9.
Yep.
And a basic Fizzy is just filling in those squares. Now we'll talk about different versions of that a little bit, but yeah,
absolutely. I've been geocaching since 2006, and I've never finished it. Which, by the way, definitely gets into the I wouldn't say issue, but it's a it gets into preferences. And for me, Fizzy's never been one of my preferences. I'd like to finish it someday, but I don't know if I will ever finish it. But for now, it's never been something I felt like I really had to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It is. For me, it's a little different. I've been caching. I'm newer to the game than you are. But because of my style of caching, I finished the first Fizzy loop years ago, but I intentionally went after it, right? Because I was in Colorado, so we had a full bevy of every terrain and difficulty combo out there. And they were hard to get, and people are pretty adamant about being right. They will get onto you in the community if you fudge them.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, we ended up traveling to Oklahoma to finish our Fizzy many years ago. We've talked about this before, but
I remember that one.
Time I did the loop through.
Yeah.
We had to go, I think it was a 4.5. And we had to travel a long way to get that. But that was the first time I did my loop. I was going after it, and that was one of the things we wanted. We had a lot of really high terrains where I was. That was easy to fill up. But it was some of the weird combinations that were hard. So
yes,
we figured, I don't remember when we finished our Fizzy. But either way, we finished it, and we were intentionally doing it that first time.
Yeah. I liked what Bell on the Move, let me find it. Where was it? Bell commented. I think I just passed it. There it is. He mentions he wants to complete a cache owner Fizzy for placing caches.
Yes. I have. I've been working on that myself.
That'd be neat.
You can't do a challenge for that or anything. That's just a personal challenge, right? Which are some of the best ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's now. I will say
one that's hard.
That's the hard one to get. 4.5. There's not as many of them.
4.5.
Interestingly enough, when I did the second loop, I did it by accident. I wasn't even trying, and I got it. I just happened to look on there one day, and I was like, "Oh, look at that! I got two loops of it," because they have a little thing on geocache.com where it tells you how many loops you've done with a little badge.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, look at that!" And I think I'm maybe 3 away from a third loop, but I'm not currently going for it. But we'll get into that stuff later. But so it's your caching style contributes a lot to whether you're going to get, and where you live contributes a lot to that.
It does, but what we've noticed, and something that kind of I think spurred tonight's conversation,
yes,
which is, do we really have true difficulty and terrain ratings on geocaches?
No, no, we don't. Now, having said that, do some people stick very closely to the difficulty and terrain rating? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In some areas, like so in Colorado, where I was anyway, if you try to put out something and inflate the terrain rating, they would give you all kinds of crap.
Right.
they'd be like, dude, I don't care if that's the top of a mountain. You didn't use any special equipment. It's not a 5. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
They were real good about that, or bad, however you consider it, right? Yeah. They were trying to keep everybody honest in the area because you tend to inflate them more in an area that's got big mountains and everything else, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that waters down the ones that actually have special equipment.
Yeah.
Just it seems like it's hard doesn't mean a 5. So I think when you have, it's kind of a community policed deal, right? If you're in an area where there's nobody that cares and you can put out a 4 terrain, that means you just had to go out of the parking lot into the trees, it's not going to mean as much to you.
Ken mentioned he's been slowly putting out mystery caches. They'll eventually fill a Fizzy Grid. And Ken, thank you so much. He contacted me this week, and I wanted to, if I may, I want to read a little bit if he will approve of this. But I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I do want to read a little bit of what he commented on, because I found it to be interesting. Because he kind of probably thinks similar to you, Jesse. I'll wait, and he'll need to give me approval. So give me approval, Ken, in the chat room. And
I do know of people that, like our old friend Zach, right? Sodak Zach.
Yep.
He put out a full Fizzy Grid, if y'all remember back in the day, of mystery caches. However, he went to painstaking lengths to make sure every one of them was legit.
Right.
So we talked about it when he was hiding a bunch of them. He was like, I'm going to do this and that. And he was trying to get other people to verify, like, do you think this is legit? We're not faking this or whatever. And I guess really what has spurred a lot of this is some people will do that. And some people, and I'm not bagging on it, right? But some people will put out caches and inflate or change the Fizzy just to, for the numbers, for the game. They're playing how they want to play it, I guess. And they put them out. And some people say it's up to the local reviewer, which that's true, but the local reviewer they're not always local, first of all. They don't always know exactly what it is. You can't always check what it is. So can't really rely on them to do that. That's not their responsibility, right? They're thinking the caches are going to be honest.
Right.
But
I think the one though in South Dakota
world's out there, right? Like legitimate terrain difficulty ratings, seemingly, and that's a whole nother discussion, right? Like how difficult is a puzzle? That's a whole different thing.
Right.
But and then the ones that people are just, and outside of liars caches, right? We know those are a different story. But ones that people are just putting the numbers out there because they want to meet a certain combination, right? Everybody knows your state's got one of them.
Yeah, I do.
Big art not too far from I won't even say what art form it was. Yeah. But they're nowhere close. They're bottom of telephone poles, and they're like terrain 5. Come on now. Stop it.
I think the one in South Dakota, though, it's still available, I think, right?
I don't know if
Eric,
last I checked, it was.
Yeah, I don't know if Eric, I didn't see Eric yet, or he might have said something in the chat room. I didn't see it. We have a good active chat room tonight. But if he was on, he could tell me. He lives up that area. But so a couple things from Ken. He sent me a really good message this week. He says, "Is it because the show is it worth it? Is it still worth it to do Fizzy?" And he put yes and no. I hear of others who have completed their Fizzy Grid multiple times, and yet I haven't done mine once. I haven't either. So welcome to we're all in the same boat. Completing it once would be nice. I'm missing 9 squares. That's about where I'm at. I think I'm less than that. I think I'm down to like 7 or 6 or 7. To me, it's still worth it. On the flip side, there are more and more cache placements that will fill in a Fizzy Grid without the necessary travel. Unlike a Jasmer, I should know, as I'm in the midst of creating he's doing a geo art with every puzzle is a different DT rating. The original plan was to only do 46 hides to form the word Fizzy, and then he decided to go on to 81. So
that's awesome. And that's so here's what I'll say. I agree with him 100%, first of all. And he kind of mentioned Jasmer, which we're not going to get into tonight, which is one of my favorite challenges ever. But that's a whole nother show that we'll have to do, right? But that's another show from another show. But the Fizzy, so is it worth it? Well, that's 100% up to the person, right? So
kind of is.
Everybody, I think everybody, now this is just for me, in my opinion. I think everybody should complete it at least once because it's something to do, right? It's one of those things you want to check off the list.
Yeah.
Everybody should complete their Fizzy at some point. Just like there's a lot of things, and I think we've talked about this before. There's probably 10 or 15 things that every geocacher should try to do at some time in their geocaching career.
The 365.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. 365, Jasmer,
hide every type.
Some version of a streak, no matter how long it is, that's up to you. Some people go the full year, a lot of other things like that, like find an FTF. Type. One of every type, get an FTF, things like that, right?
Hide every type. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
However, I would say that without a doubt, every person caching should try to complete a Fizzy. Now, at least once, right? To have one loot, fill everything in on your grid. We don't like unfilled grids, no matter if it's months or DTs or whatever, as cachers. However, saying that, I think it's up to the person on how they do it.
Oh, that's a good one.
360
degrees too.
So, assuming you have the ability to find high terrain caches,
right?
That's an assumption first, right? So let's take that part out of it. If you have the ability to do it, everybody should try it. Now, if you want to do it and find ones that are 100% legit, more power to you. That's your integrity, right? If you want to find ones because you think it's funny that are 100% not legit, also a fun challenge to do for yourself, right? Ones that are overrated a lot of times.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So do we care about that? Well, you may or may not. Now, is doing a Fizzy once worth it? I would say 100%.
Yep.
I'm not into the Fizzy looper thing. So there's people that have done hundreds of Fizzy loops.
Yeah. Hundreds.
Yeah. There's many people that have done around 200 Fizzy loops. If you look at Project GC worldwide.
Well, I think some have done. What was the one you said? 400 was one of them.
Yeah, one person has done like over 400. But of that top front page, most of them are closer to 200 or whatever.
There is a dictionary, by the way.
Pizza Ninja's going to do a full Liar's Cache Fizzy now. Would that be funny to do? Oh yeah, I think that's hilarious.
It is. I don't know. Are you allowed? I don't think you're allowed to do Liar's Caches anymore.
I saw one recently that was new.
Was it new? Okay.
I thought you weren't allowed to do them, but it was clearly a Liar's Cache.
Oh, okay.
Now, that gets into a whole other thing. A little side note here while we're on it, but do you think Liar's Caches or inflated Fizzies are bad for the game? I bet we have different opinions on this.
Bad for the game.
Or should they be allowed?
Should they be allowed? I don't know. There's a way you can not
what I asked you. Them. I'm asking you, should they be allowed? You don't get to weasel out of it that way.
Should they be allowed? No, they shouldn't be allowed. Number one. Have I found one? Of course I found one. There's a cache in Norman, Oklahoma. I think it's on the campus of Oklahoma University.
Yeah.
And it was placed in a very, very, it was for in honor of someone who had cancer and
a child that passed away, right?
Yeah, all good things. I mean,
Is it in a tree?
Yeah. Very well.
Is it a 5?
Yeah. No.
5 terrain though is what it's marked as, isn't it?
It's a 5-5.
Yeah, I found
difficulty 5, terrain 5. Yeah, you found it. I've found it too. You can walk up and grab it, sign it, and put it back.
Yeah.
Did I sign it and log it on my? Oh heck yeah, I did that. I was there.
Here's what I'm going to say that's going to shock people a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
And it's the exact opposite of what you're saying.
You think it's
I think they should absolutely be allowed.
Okay.
Here's why. One, just like you said, they cannot regulate it. There's no way to regulate it anyway.
No.
But two, here's the thing that's going to ruffle a few feathers. Who cares?
True.
Cares, right? If you go up to one and you go, oh, it's a 5.5, and you walk in as a parking lot, you don't have to get that cash. You can go, this is not for me. There's no integrity here. I'm leaving. You won't. Yeah. You won't do it. I'm just telling you now, you're not going to. When you walked up to that tree cache, just like me, and you're like, this is supposed to be a 5.5, but I can walk up and grab it. Did at any point did it cross your mind to go, I'm not going to get this cash?
Yeah.
No, it did not. Neither with me. I found that one too, right?
We both found out, yeah.
And if we get the reason why I think why it should be allowed and people should be able to play around with it, because you can't stop it, right? So if we spend our time trying to stop that, we become a game that's like fighting and just crazy and like, I don't think this is a 3.5 and this should be archive. Stop. Just stop. Yeah. If you don't like it and it doesn't meet your standards, there's literally 3 million other caches out there to find. Go out there. Everybody plays the game their own way. And I think if we could stop worrying about, like, you see those forums where people are like, well, they did this, but they didn't really do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I've been on those forums
and
too.
Play the game how you want to play and have fun. Like we always try to say, just have fun how you're trying to play the game.
Yeah.
It is you don't win money. If anybody tells me how you can win money on this, I will step on everybody else to do it. But we're not at that point.
No, we're not.
We're doing it to have fun. And if we start worrying about like, well, he didn't get a true blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh. We become the worst people on the internet if we do that. We cannot have that game. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
Now, if you and I, like the puzzle people,
I've been in those groups.
You didn't solve that or you didn't climb that tree. So what? Let's just have fun and move on to the next thing. It's a game of hide and seek for adults. Let's just have fun with it. So I don't get all crazy about those things. Having said that, that filters into my version, how much I care.
Yeah.
I have to say that, like, if we get caught up in the details, we're missing the point of the game.
Sure.
For me, anyway, right? For me, the point of the game is the experience, the fun, meeting up with people, playing a silly game that, like, I think I'm sneaking around, but there's 3 million people playing it. Nobody knows about this game. It's a secret game.
Secret game, right?
It's secret. It's a 3 million person secret, right? But I just say, like, if it's crazy, I can always walk away from it. Geocaching.
You're not going to become a geocaching.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's the worst part of the internet. Let's don't let our game become that, right?
Oh, sorry. Also, the winner tonight gets a button from Chronically Tired Mom.
Oh, nice.
Lisa, she sent me some, so I'm going to put those in.
Wait, I need one of those.
Oh, I'll send you one.
I don't have that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it made me think of that when I saw her.
I know I'm not eligible.
So that's but I got those.
So even though we have different opinions, we have the basic same opinion on that, right?
It's a slippery slope of discussion. Right. I mean, like I said, I was in a forum one time where I didn't say whether somebody was something. I mean, this is how sensitive some of these Facebook groups are. I just asked a question. I didn't say whether it was right or wrong. I just asked the question, is it really possible to find 230 caches in 4 hours? If you do the math, it doesn't really add up. You'd have to do one every 30 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
And you physically can't get you can't get 528 feet, and so that was just my comment was that it doesn't really, the math doesn't fit. Oh my gosh. Talk about getting roasted over the coals.
Oh yeah.
They badmouthed me. They badmouthed Geocache Talk. They badmouthed my mother. They badmouthed you. They badmouthed everybody. And I basically said, that's it. I'm out. Because this is ridiculous. I just asked a question.
that's what we never want to become, right?
No, we don't
when
want.
we start fighting over little things like that. Yeah, people are so ridiculous.
Why didn't they just say? Why didn't they just
know
say
that people
we
go out in
fudged the
groups?
number? And I
Do
said,
people
okay,
go out in
we'll
groups and sign separately, and so they're getting 4 people signing at one time, and they're going down doing power trails and leapfrog and everything else? Yes, but who cares?
Yeah,
who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
One per minute. Thank you, Tiger Eye. Yeah, you get the yeah.
It's 1 per minute.
Yeah. So they were doing more because it was more than 240. I think it was like 268. I think was what the total was in 4 hours. And I was like, yeah. And at the time I did the math and I was like, it doesn't really fit. I just asked the question and they could have easily said, well, clearly they fudged the number. I mean, that wasn't the point. But yeah, so you're welcome. We're yeah, thank you for not fighting. We don't fight over that stuff.
Yeah. And yeah. I think it's absurd, but we're talking about it anyway, right? But again,
that's possible. I can see 150
doing a car. Yeah. That is
that I could
possible.
see.
Those are virtuals though. You're not driving. Yeah. There's no proximity issues with that one.
Yeah, exactly. Armchair logging. That's what they did. That's okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
just admit to it.
Here's the thing.
Like I said, we don't care.
Really want to get into it.
Yeah.
I promise you, maybe not everyone, but I've broken just about every rule in geocaching one time or another.
Right.
All of them. Guess what? I don't care. I don't care. You can call me out on a forum. You can do all that other junk. I don't care. I'm in the game to have fun. I'm not out bragging about like, I did this or that. Guess what? Me and my wife log as a team, which we're going to talk about this at one point too. And we've logged a cache in different like states at the same time because we were traveling.
Yep.
So what? We're part of a team. We did it as a team. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
she was flying. We were flying separately, and we're not going to not log the cache in the airport at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh no, my wife could log one today, so I'm not going to log one. Yeah.
That's kind of
we're almost play and have fun with it, right? So
yeah, we kind of veered into a possible different show right there.
Oh, we're going to do that show eventually, but we'll get back to the Fizzy. Turn back.
Back to Fizzy.
Back to Fizzy. So now the question does not become, because I believe we both agree on, or maybe we don't. Should you do 100%, if you're able, should you do one loop of the Fizzy?
Well, I agree, but I haven't. So I don't know how much.
Wait. You haven't, but you also disclosed to me before the show you're planning on it.
I was planning on it just to get it done. But
so you do want to get it done.
Well, I kind of do, but kind of don't. I mean, I haven't really finished it at this point. I've done it since like people in there since 2006. So I'm kind of wavering. I'm like,
it's not your top priority, but
it's not a top priority.
Made plans and have looked into how you could finish it.
Yeah, it is. So I think it's something I agree to a point, and this is where it depends on your caching priorities, and it's slowly moving up my priority list. So as I mentioned before, and I'll make this a short answer to the question, which is so the Texas Challenge was not on, which by the way, the finishers event's coming up in a couple weeks. I'm going to that. I'm number 223, going to wear my shirt proudly.
I'm jealous.
And I'm going to, it's on the back burner. Exactly. It's moving up to the front burner pretty soon though, Nicole, I think. So it wasn't a priority for me. Texas Challenge wasn't a priority, but I was in Seguin. I was at the finishers event. Because you can go to the finishers event even if you haven't finished. It's just a kind of like a meet and greet.
Yeah, I've been to the finishers event, and
you've been to a finishers event. Yeah, so it's a fun event. Looking forward to it again. I love watching folks sign the giant Texas board, and you get to sign it where on the county that you finished. We didn't. We were just there for the event, but I got to finally sign the board. So anyway, David of Team D&D. D and David Vickery. David says to me, Gary, this is David's very straightforward person. He knows me well enough. He could do this. He goes, why haven't you finished it? And I go, I don't know. He goes, you should have finished it by now. Why haven't you finished it? Go finish it. So I was like, he's right. I think I will go finish it. And then I got excited about it, and off we went for the next year to finish the Texas Challenge. And we did. We finished it. Took several weeks, several weekends in planning, driving all over Texas. Texas is huge. I don't think people understand the enormity. And even though I've lived here pretty much my whole life, it's hard to even for us as Texans to get our hands around how big this thing is. So anyway, so we finished it, made it a priority, got it done. For me, there was no fudging of because I felt 254 counties worth of Texas there. Yeah, it's huge. Crosses time zones, all that good stuff. So after saying all that, it became a priority, and I made it a priority. So, and I finished Oklahoma, which I made a priority one for a few weeks, made that a priority. I did finish, we finished Hawaii, of all places. That was.
So you finished 2 states? No, more than that.
I finished Oklahoma, Texas, and Hawaii.
3
states. The Hawaii one was very similar to your Fizzy, though, in the fact that I had thought that we were pretty. I mean, I thought, I think we found one in every state, and we were there. Our last time there, and I looked and I was like, oh, so you have to find. And there's a weird county. This is just we got off the beaten path here, but there's a weird county in Hawaii because it's near the old leper colony, and you can't get down there easily. I think you have to get permission and get a private tour, but the county extends up into the mountain, or not mountain, extends up the hill, and there's a visitor center. There's a turnoff for the visitor center up there, so we put one there because it fit the county. And so anyway, so we finished Hawaii, but we sort of almost accidentally finished it. And so anyway. Funny. Yeah.
So, but I think you've hit on something very important.
Yeah.
That draws a parallel to this. When you said that,
there you go. Happy Hodag mentioned it. Yeah. What a weird county. Kalawoo County. Yeah. I've done that one.
It took you a long time to do it. You had to plan specifically to do it.
Yeah.
You didn't accidentally finish the Texas County Challenge. You know, that meant a lot to you because it was something you strived for a long time. You didn't fake any of it.
Right.
You did it the best way you felt like, with all integrity and everything else. I think that's what makes these true challenges worth it, at least in my opinion, right? Like if you're working on the Fizzy Challenge, could you go out one weekend and find one of the bogus ones, the bogus Fizzy all in one weekend? You could.
Oh, sure.
But
sure, you could.
Did you really do anything with that? And would you ever want to do your first one like that? You know what I mean? Like, would you want to fake your first 365 challenge? Would you want to fake your first Jasmer or Fizzy? I would hope not, because you're not going to get anything out of it that way. The way you did the Texas Challenge is, in my opinion, what makes the Fizzy Challenge worth it the first time.
Yes.
You're doing one the first time, and you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find ones that are truly within it. I'll travel if I have to and everything else. To me, that's one of those, like those major 15 we talked about things that you get to experience as a geocacher. You only get to experience those things one time. You only get to get your first FTF one time. You only get to do your first 365 streak one time. You only get to do your, fill out your first Fizzy one time, your first loop of Jasmer one time. So if you kind of water those down and cheat and do all that stuff, which cheating, we know it's a whole different topic, right? But
kind of.
If you make it where it's a really thing that's special to you, and you do these things the first time, you only get to hide your first cache one time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I definitely wouldn't want to cheapen any of those experiences. And I think if you don't, then that first loop of Fizzy, which I consider different than every other loop, the first loop of Fizzy can be something that's really awesome to achieve. the first one.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know what the current challenge is for how many loops of Fizzy you can do. I don't know what the rules are, what the guidelines are for how many loops of Fizzy. Maybe somebody knows it in the chat room. But I know that in the past, there's been ones up to like 16 times.
Right.
I doubt those would fly to the current regulations, but
yeah,
I don't know.
See your, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see your point.
Can you put the first one in the category with everything else? Or is that two separate categories in your opinion?
No, I think I think it would be. Yeah.
I think those are two different things. I think the first time you do it is something
two different.
Yeah, it should be something special. Now what we're really talking about tonight is the loopers.
Yeah.
So what do you think about looping?
The problem with what were we saying? What was your question again, Jesse, about looping?
So what do you think about like the looping of Fizzy, like trying 10, 15, 20 Fizzies?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's out there. I mean, if you can do it, I don't know, more power to you, I guess. I mean, the issue I think comes in is the integrity of the geocache. So forget it's I don't like hearing about geocaches that don't have the right DT. Forget the Fizzy Grid.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, to me, if the integrity that must be maintained is the geocache. If it's not a true DT rating on a geocache, I think it's wrong. I think it's detrimental to the entire game. Reason I say that is because think about challenges. What if a challenge? What's the point of a? Oh, go ahead. Gets filled, doesn't go to trackable heaven. That's funny.
That's the funniest one of all night. I heard every time a Fizzy Grid gets filled, a trackable doesn't go to trackable heaven.
Doesn't or does? Because there's so many of them gone to Fizzy heaven. Yeah.
No,
which, by the way,
and now
hashtag
just to
Fizzy
clarify,
gets you
when you say it's not accurate, you're not talking about something being a 2 versus 2.5. You're talking about being a 2 versus a 4.5.
Yeah.
Or it's always subjective, right? Like
it is.
We could both go to a cache and I'd go, well, that's a 2.5 terrain. You would say it's a 3 terrain or 2 terrain. That could be off, right?
But if it's a 5,
but if you go to a terrain that you go to one that's like a 2 and you're like, dude, that was a 5. I had to get a boat to get here. Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, which is
then
what happens a lot. Yeah. See, so Nicole says she's not sure how many 5.5s she's brave enough to go for. Well, if that one's in Norman, you can go do that one. That's an easy one.
Now
that's a 5.5. But then, do you want to? I mean,
and some of the challenges out there, the ones that are improperly marked currently, or the ones that are pre-moratorium, there are challenges that are 5.5 that are just lamppost caches.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's Fizzy challenges out there that are 5.5s that are just lamppost caches. And that's under the pre-moratorium rules. Because currently the difficulty needs to be based on the challenge, not the current hide.
Not the terrain.
So, and the terrain should be based on the hide, right? So that's
right
in the rules.
Yes.
In the old rules, you would base it like if it was like a 365 streak, you would base that challenge as a 5.5 because it's super hard, right?
Yeah.
But so anyway, I think the subjectivity aside, right? Like 2 versus 2.5 or 2 versus 3, that's subjective. A 1 terrain when it's actually, or a 5 terrain when it's actually a 1, that's not subjective. That's just blowing it up.
Yeah. So, for example, for me, I'm gonna, and I'm pretty sure I have. I need to go double check. I know I've done another 5.5, but it was a real legit one. I had to get a ladder out to get the 5 part and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about the D5 part. It's kind of, but I want to make sure that for me personally, that 5.5 in Norman. It was fun, and it's kind of funny to see it on the grid, but I don't want that to be my only 5.5. Does that make sense? I'm okay with it because
that that's your one loop, right?
That's I've got
you want to make sure you've done one of every rank, the combination for you, not for the the map. You want to do it for you.
Yeah. So I wouldn't stop at that one. I mean, I did. Right. I signed it and because as somebody mentioned earlier, I'm not responsible for the DT for that one. Although I found it is a 5.5, but I'm going to do I have done other 5.5. So I'm not.
Yeah.
If that was my only 5.5, I would not want that to be my only 5.5. Does that make sense?
Yes. No. And that comes down to that integrity deal, right?
Well, if it's gonna be my 6th 5.5, I could care less. I mean, because at that point, it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So the looping.
So she
part.
mentioned, the looping part.
She's talking about T5s and kayaks. Those are legit. If you got a boat to go get a cache,
have to use a boat. Yep.
That is a legitimate T5.
Down with Fizzy. It's so funny. Yeah.
Down with Fizzy. So having said that, I want to make a distinction, right? So again, your first loop of Fizzy
is different than
everybody should complete the Fizzy once, and there's a lot of value in that. But because it's experiencing all parts of geocaching, right?
Yeah.
If you go and you find a 1-1 that's a true 1-1, you've done something in geocaching. It could be an event. It could be actually finding a 1-1 that's legit can be just as hard because most of them are not legit terrain 1, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've talked about that.
And then a 5.5 that's legit is also can be hard to find a true 5.5. And I think everybody should experience every combination at least once, whether you're a looper, whether you care about Fizzy or not. But I think as a geocacher, doing a 3.2 and doing a 4.1, all those things are very different experiences. So I think there's an extreme value for being a well-rounded geocacher to have tried all those things.
Sure.
But that, I think, is almost separate than finding 16 loops of Fizzy.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, people that are going... Now, first of all, I hold no ill will towards people that, if Fizzy's their thing, man, you go for it. You do whatever you want to do and have fun with it. People go do power trails and get 10,000 caches, and some people don't find but 10 caches a year and have just as much fun. So you play the game how you want to play it.
Yeah.
However, if you're a Fizzy looper, now the first one I think should be totally legit. Try to find one just like you did. You found that one that's 5.5, but you didn't know, and you want to find another one that's a real 5.5.
Yeah.
Try to find one of each type that's legit. But then after that, you always have the choice of ignoring the ones that are fake. But why? Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Now, is that my thing that I want to go and just rack up a bunch of fake Fizzy loops? No. But who cares? I think it should be, if that's your fun thing and you just want to see how many times you can make that tick, and you like that little badge on geocaching.com that goes, you've done 2 Fizzy loops, go for your 3rd, you've done 27, go for your... Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, go for it. And why would you not exploit the system?
Yeah. I mean,
if you're hiding your own caches under a dummy account, which is a whole different topic.
Yeah, that's a whole other show.
Thing, which we know about. People do that, but
that's for another show for sure. That's a whole other show about.
That's a whole other show. But
sock puppets.
Sock puppet. That's I need a shirt that says sock puppet. But sock anyway, sock puppet. Geocaching the way it should be. But if you want to go for, I don't see any value, and I've never found any value in doing a bunch of Fizzy loops because it's just not interesting to me currently. However, if it's your thing to go after and be the #1 Fizzy looper in the world, dude, go for it.
Yeah.
And if you happen to come upon something in Texas, I'm not even going to mention which one for Omega that we're talking about. We all both know.
Yep.
That was a full Fizzy loop you could do. And we walked around to them. They're all at the base of telephone poles.
Yeah.
They were big telephone poles because it was Texas, but
still.
it was still like, come on, man, that's not it, right? But if you're a Fizzy Looper and you came upon that, would you walk away from it? No. That's awesome. That's a free win. That's a freebie. That's just like that liar's cache, right? Have fun with it.
Yeah, it's a get out of jail free card kind of.
It is. And look, here's the deal. We all have been to caches that are way lower than the terrain or difficulty suggests. And I would bet for the most part of us, unless somebody wants to say different, we have not refused to do those because they were improperly marked.
Oh, no.
We still have the smiley on that, right? Every one of us do.
I'll take your giveaway.
Yeah, come on. It's okay. It's a gimme. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, but I'll take it. I'll take that free terrain 4 that was really at the bottom of the tree instead of way up in the tree.
Yeah.
Because it fell down. But where I go Fizzy, I'm actually working on that. So having said that, there's a whole different game. So
yes,
I don't do like 100 loops of Fizzy. I don't care about that.
Right.
We haven't even gotten into this, and we barely have any time to get into it, but I'm glad Pizza Ninja asked. Do I have stats pulled for me for every different cache type for Fizzy? You better believe it. And if I come across legitimate ones of any of these that fill those types, will I go after them? Yes, I will. I would love to have a Fizzy for every cache type out there. Is it my number one goal? It's not. But would it be something neat to be able to have? Yeah. Would I put a challenge out if I got it? Oh, yeah, you better believe it. And I think I've done traditional. I may have done. I think if I don't have them, I've got traditional puzzle close. Where I go, I don't have close. Earth Cache, I don't have very close. Virtual, I have probably half of them. You know,
I think Cache Canada finished their Earth Cache Fizzy.
Yes. Now
that's hard to do because you're under another. You're under different reviewers. So I think the reviewers, well, I don't know. Are they really going to check DT rating very closely? I think they're more concerned.
No, although I'm closer to hiding a Fizzy of Earth Caches than I am of finding them.
Right.
But here's a good question too, which there's so many other shows we're talking about.
Yeah, it is.
What if terrain rating is season dependent? Oh my gosh. We can talk about that all night long. That's another show we need to do.
It is.
Oh, don't even start. Stop changing stuff. Oh my gosh.
Don't change it.
Goes down, and only a reviewer can change stuff on the cache page when it's published.
That's the way it should be.
So angry. So you just really ruined all the stats when you start changing stuff like that. But
I don't say change it, but they're asking whether a terrain rating is C. Oh, I see what you're saying. No,
what I'm saying is, if you put something on a cache page and it's published,
it's not.
You should not be changing that without.
No. Now
you can't change the location more than like 25 feet, right? So if you're changing the rating back and forth, imagine if that's your only 5.5, but during the summertime you can walk to it, right?
Well, that's
where wintertime you can walk to it, and now all of a sudden you don't have that 5.5 anymore. That's terrible.
Well, that's where Gina's saying, could overgrowth during summer be worse and be acceptable to claim a higher terrain and depth in which you have to go to get the cache?
Yeah.
So say in the winter it's easier. Well,
Gina's right. It does change, right? However,
it does change. So you got to determine.
The problem is it messes up people's.
Yeah, you don't want to modify it. But I guess what she's saying though is, you could set the terrain rating again. It has to be set. Both you and I agree. It has to be set in stone, because if you change it, you're going to screw people up.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see where you're going to set a terrain rating higher, because some parts of the year it might be, or find it. Yeah, she says find a happy medium. That's possible. And if somebody asks, or you could put a note on there and say, the terrain rating on this cache may seem high to some, but it is a average based on this location over an entire year.
Just explain it on the cache page, right? But don't go changing it throughout the year. Then you may or may not be qualified for the Fizzy based on your caches.
Yeah, don't change them, because you're going to screw people up. In fact, I agree. advocated for once somebody's found it. Now we both, you and I have agreed that you could go change it as long as nobody's found it yet. Once somebody has claimed a find, then I think it should be locked. You can't change it.
Now that would be nice. I would like that a lot. I don't know how they could make that happen. I don't know computer world, but if they could do that, I wouldn't care if anybody changed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had somebody we talked about before, but I had somebody change the date on a published cache.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, no, stop.
You mess with Jasmer then. Yeah.
Yeah, it messes that all up.
Which, by the way, right now, there's almost nobody who's finished Jasmer. I don't know if you knew that or
not. Unless they found a cache today.
Or yesterday, yes. That's the joke. That's a little bit of a Jasmer joke for you there.
Well, I know. It's funny though, because I went and signed a Jasmer challenge the other day.
Yeah.
And we weren't qualified. And I was like, what?
What? You're not qualified?
I was like, oh, dang. We haven't found a cache this month. We haven't found a cache last month, the brand new caches. So
yeah.
I think that's funny though. But
it's funny note.
We're hitting the end of the time, so we need to do
we are. Yeah, we got to do the giveaway, and we also going to show a part of the clue. We're going to put part of the clue. So go ahead. Did you want to do a wrap up first?
Let's do the giveaway and the clue before. Let's wrap up after.
Okay, let's do that. So let me show the clue. This is the clue to the current key, and there I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Let people start to look at that. Find, and they spelled it. No, they spelled it correctly. It's in cursive. So find the V's, and it's V apostrophe S in quotation marks, where 3 makes 2, and you'll be very nearby. Whatever all that means, I don't know.
I'm glad that I don't know what the puzzles mean.
Find the V's where 3 makes 2, and you'll be very nearby.
Do you know off the top of your head which keys are still out there with clues that have not been found?
There's one. It's the one that people are working on. It's the vault. It looks like a vault. It's a picture of a vault.
Picture vault. Okay, that one's still out there.
That one's still out there. I think that's the only one. I think of all the 9. The current one. Yeah. So the current one, and the current one that I just meant, I gave a clue for, is still out there. And yeah, key 7. So Judy's correct. So it's key 7 and key 9. 7 and 9 have not been found yet.
7 and 9.
Yep.
All right. So now
we're gonna do our giveaway. So I just want to give people one more chance, and then I'm gonna push the button. But if you want to do #Fizzy and get into the drawing for tonight, I've got coins, I've got books, I've got the St. Jude shirt we can give away as well.
Yeah. Pick a prize, basically.
Pick a prize. I've got the coin. Like I said, I got the book, the coin. I have the coins, and I also have the novel, The Coin. And I've got the 501 2-in-1 worldwide geocaches. And so there you go. And then I've got the 2 there. So #Fizzy, get you into the drawing. Thank you, everybody, for putting that in. Thank you, Todd. Pizza Ninja wants a pizza
that
grid.
Might work. We'll see.
Yeah, that will work. Difficulty in terrain on top of a pizza. So, all right, let's do the giveaway. All the entries. She's back on. Mel's back on. I guess she got to work. I think I have a good idea, but not sure. Oh, she has an idea about one of the keys. I think it's the key 7 of our grouping. So, okay. Let me bring up the screen.
Bring it up. Let's see.
And we'll do the.
Let me put my entry in real quick.
I would just skip you. Go. You can put it in.
You're not eligible.
You're not eligible.
Oh man.
Well, if it shows up, I'm gonna push the spin again button. So all right, here we go.
Getting robbed.
I know. Tell you, I'll go to full screen on this guy. All right, here we go. Push the button. Who's winning tonight? Oh, there's all the people going by.
I saw my name.
Nick. Saw your name. Yep. Rolls fan. Todd. Rod. Annette. Annette Baum. She is the winner. So thank you, Annette, for being there for
So how does she claim her prize?
And we will. She is to email us at, and I'll put it up on the screen. Here I find it. geocachetalk@gmail.com. Congrats, Annette. Send us what you would like. Again, I've got the coins. I got the green ones. I've got
the St. Jude shirt.
Got the St. Jude shirt. Yep. Thanks for playing. That's
Did
that
you get
one.
rid of all the bison coins already?
I've got the bison coins.
Coins? Okay.
I actually only have one of the bisons now.
Oh, one left.
Copper ones are gone, so I'm down to silver. I've got the silver bison, which
Those
are still
so
cool
looking.
Too. Yeah, and they've got the
and really, unless you went to Cache Fest, you don't really know the story behind those coins.
No, we got the roam the park, which, by the way, they do roam the park.
They do indeed.
The bisons, yeah, and if they have a lot of room to roam in Shelby Farms, and if you get lucky, which we did once when I was there with Derek, we were getting Cache Fest ready. I got to see the bison, so that was really cool.
I don't recommend trying to ride them.
Not the best to ride.
No, not so much.
Not so much. So, all right. So again, email if you need me to help. I've got guitars too. Here's the oil dipped one. That's kind of cool looking.
It looks white from here, but yeah, I know which one. Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's got the oil dipped.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
You want to go first? You want me to?
Oh, let me go first. I like it. This is kind of your area of expertise. So I'm going to yay, she goes, yay, you're welcome.
All right. Congrats on that.
Okay. So my final thoughts. I really like the idea of trying to do one legit. Maybe it wasn't your first one, but at least do one. So if you're going to do the Fizzy Grid, I suggest, again, these are just suggestions because you can do what you want. Mm-hmm. The sport allows you to do kind of whatever you want, but my suggestion is do one at least one legitimate, because I think that when it's all said and done, you're going to look back and go, it's kind of like the 365. I haven't finished 365, but that's because I'm not going to just fill in blanks just to fill in blanks. So that's kind of where I'm thinking about that now. Nowadays, I think, or now that I've finished Oklahoma, I think I'm going to go back and look for caches that fill the Fizzy. Other than that one that I told you about, there's a where I go grid out there that I could go do and be done. But I don't really want. I've pulled them up to look at them, but I really, I want to finish. I'm kind of.
That's not how you want to finish it.
I don't want to. I want to finish the one like 365. Yeah. If you want to fudge the fourth time around, and you're like, I found this cache on July 5th, and I'm going to mark it as July 6th just so I get another grid. I don't care. Yeah. I think, though, you want to get one solid one in the books.
Yes, I agree.
Jasmer, same way, I think. I mean, you want to get one. That's a whole different
discussion. We can't even touch that tonight.
Can't even touch Jasmer.
Jasmer's too important. We can't touch that tonight.
Yeah, we'll talk Jasmer some night because I think that's another interesting one. But yeah. So 360, kind of all the main. So that's my big takeaway tonight is try to do one legit. And then after that, it's up to you then. Yeah. Really. Well, they're all up to you, but I think that you'll feel better if you do one at least fully legit, like a true 5.5, not just the Norman one, which was fun, but I'm not going to make that my only 5.5. So go ahead.
I agree with that. Now, obviously, we have the caveat that if you have the ability to,
yes,
if you have the ability to find a true 5.5 cache and those high terrain caches, physically or whatever, if you have the ability and capability to do that, try to experience every one of those as real as you can get, every one of those difficulty terrain combinations, because it's a different experience. Each one of those is different.
Yeah.
To get the true caching experience. Now, having said that, take all that out. Let's assume you've done that once. Having said that, do I care about doing 15 loops of Fizzy? Personally, I don't. Now, do I want to do one of each cache type? Yeah, to me, because that's also the first time you've done it of each one, right? So that's different.
That's true.
But do I care about being, there's people that have done hundreds of them.
Yeah.
I don't care a bit. It has no value to me because I know there's tons of fake ones out there and I could do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But do I hold any ill will towards people that is their thing? No. You do it. You enjoy the crap out of it because, like you said, this is our sport, hobby, obsession, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We love it and we all play it in our own way. If your thing is you want to get to 25 loops of Fizzy or 50 or 100,
yeah,
go for it. Do I care how you do it? No. I don't care if you walk up and go, I've got 100 loops of Fizzy and I cheated every one but the first one. Dude, that's awesome. How'd you manage to do that?
Right.
That's
true. Yeah.
Would I hold anything against you? No, because you know what? You still went out and played it how you want to play it. If you want to go out there and find only caches on Tuesday for a year straight,
yeah,
that's awesome. I don't have the will to do that, but you do. So go for it. And I think, again, as we always get back to with this show, it's the most weird way you want to be, like the freakiest way you can play the game. If that makes you have fun, go for it.
Right.
If you only want to find caches that are in ammo cans, like some people do, awesome.
Yeah.
If you only want to find caches that are like, I only want traditionals, I'm never going to do any other cache type. Cool. Yeah. Do I personally think you're missing out? Yes, but whatever. If you want to find 800 loops and you want to be the number one looper in the world, man, go for it. That is a lot of fun. Have fun with it. If that floats your boat, go for it. Because we all play this game differently and we all should do it to the best of our ability. And at the end of the day, all we really have is the memories we had, like finding those caches, right? The fun we had. You don't get any extra points for none of these challenges mean anything.
Right.
But unless they mean something to you. And if they mean something to you, they mean everything.
Yeah.
So the only thing I would implore people to do is for at least one loop or at least one time, find one of every DT.
Right.
Truly experience that. Outside of that, exploit the crap out of the game. If 2 towns over, there's a full 81 that you can do on a Saturday, and it's just totally, absolutely bogus, go do it. Because it'll be funny to do that. I would do it. I wouldn't care about the Fizzy loop, but I think it'd be funny just to do 81 caches in a day anyway that met the whole loop because it would be hilarious to do. But now, having said that, if you're playing that way, probably don't brag about the fact that you're the best in the world.
Right.
Or I did a whole Fizzy loop in one day. Dude, that's awesome. But have fun with it, but at the same time, just do it however you want to, and don't be the people in that group online that are like, well, they didn't do this or that. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
you have the fun that you want to have, and Fizzy is as valuable as you believe it is. That's my opinion.
No, that's good. Yeah, I like as we wrap up. Bell on the Move says I have so many holes. I was hoping tonight's show was going to tell me not to worry because it's not worth it. Damn clickbait.
2 and on is not worth it, in my opinion. Number
is it
one
worth,
is something valuable that you want to do. Having said that, do you want to go out and do that in the first 30 days? Probably not, because there's only, and we need to do a show on that coming up, but there's a top 10, top 15 things that you want to accomplish at some point in your geocaching career. Once you've accomplished those, you got to make up your own junk after that. So really enjoy those milestones. Like the first time you hit 100 caches, we're going to get off topic, but when you hit 100 caches, you're like, I am a professional geocacher. I just hit 100 caches. That is insane.
You are not even close.
We'll do a show coming up on the milestone events in your geocaching life.
Yeah, we could, but for sure.
Do 1, 2 and up. That's totally up to you.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no, I like that idea. I think that'd be a good show to talk about because there are milestones that I think are important, and there are milestones that I don't think are. Yeah,
get your freak on.
get your freak on. Yeah, there you go. All right, good show. We got more coming. So this Sunday we're going to do Challenge Talk. Is this Sunday? I misspoke. I thought it was a gadget, but no, it's Challenge Talk. Then next Tuesday, we have a lot of shows coming up. Next Tuesday will be Puzzle Talk, and then we'll be back here again on the next Thursday. There's a Thursday in April that we won't have a show, but that's a long way away, so we won't talk about that.
Yeah,
we will carry on, and we'll do some more crazy shows like this, and we'll ask AI to do them for us. No, I'm kidding. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.